sun is the source of most of our energy here on Earth. Energy from the sun is used to produce electricity using photovoltaics and solar thermal plants. That same energy is also used for heating using solar domestic hot water systems, hydronic heating, solar air heating, and solar cooking, just to name a few. This video will talk about how the sun produces that energy. The sun produces energy using a process called fusion.
Fusion is the transfer of thermal energy between particles of matter that are touching. It's the transfer of thermal energy between particles of matter that are touching. Things have to touch in order for conduction to happen. Our next example of thermal energy transfer is convection. Convection is the transfer of thermal energy by particles moving through a fluid. It's thermal energy transfer by particles moving through a fluid. Radiation is the transfer of thermal energy by waves that can travel through air or across space. Radiation is the transfer of thermal energy by waves that can travel through air or across space.
They all use a lot of hot water, and with rising electricity prices and the high demand for energy, her bills are through the roof, and the power cuts aren't helping either. Priya cares about the environment, so she decided to get a solar water heater, but it was expensive, poorly made, and when the sun went away, so did the hot water. It just didn't seem worth the energy. Sol Geyser from the Green Building Company is here to change all that, with new technology that provides more hot water at hotter temperatures. We build our products around the concept of biomimicry, designing technology with the same principles found in nature. Like a flower, Sol Geyser automatically follows the sun, collecting 40% more energy than passive heaters. The hot water is then efficiently stored, mixed, and distributed, delivering child-safe water to the bathroom and piping hot water to the rest of the house, even on cloudy days. Sol Geyser is SABS approved and qualifies for Eskom rebates. It's sold rent-to-own through the Green Building Company, with monthly billing straight onto your City of Cape Town rates bill, meaning there's no upfront payment, and the energy savings made far outweigh the monthly cost. Using one provides a 50% improvement in energy usage for heating water and takes a big load off the grid. Best of all, they're made in SA with full maintenance, installation, and 24-hour support. Before long, Priya and her family have affordable, reliable hot water powered by the sun. Sol Geyser from the Green Building Company.
Carl Peterson, Energy Educator with North Dakota State University, and today what we're going to be talking about is the effectiveness of insulation. In our northern climates, the majority of our energy use in the house is through heating. So we're going to mainly focus on heating, but also in the summer months we're thinking about cooling too, but we'll focus on the heating aspects of it. But the idea is that, you know, the house is like a balloon here, and to fill up this balloon, to keep the air inside of this balloon, we have to make sure it's nice and air sealed. The same thing was with a house. If we want to keep that heat in that house as long as possible, we have to make sure it's nice and sealed up tight. The other thing is that eventually this air is going to leak out of this balloon. Same thing with a house. That heat can transfer through and out of a house in a number of ways. It can go right through building components. It can sneak through around gaps in those building components. It can also have convective currents in there where that air gets heated and cooled and the air moves inside the building components or right up against them, like around a cold window or something like that. But the idea is, so if we're going to insulate a house, we have to make sure to do two things. We have to make sure to insulate it properly, but we also have to make sure to air seal it properly so that air doesn't leak out and bring that hot air with it, or bring that heat with it. A couple different ways to do that is we take our insulation, make sure to use our insulation properly, but we also can use things like building wraps that we can wrap on the outside of our building to make sure that air doesn't pass through.
This is the Earth. This is a greenhouse. Do you know how greenhouses work? Energy from the sun enters the greenhouse through its glass and warms up the soil. The heated soil radiates back heat. The glass doesn't allow the heat out, and the heat energy is kept inside. The atmosphere of our planet also traps energy. What blocks the sun's energy from escaping from the planet's atmosphere? Molecules, called greenhouse gases, reflect the heat waves back to Earth. Without its atmosphere and greenhouse gases, the surface of the Earth would be as cold as Mars. The presence of too many greenhouse gases can cause the temperature to increase out of control, however. The Earth's greenhouse effect is growing stronger as the amount of greenhouse gases increases. The additional greenhouse gases come mainly from the burning of fossil fuels, which releases the gases and other air pollutants into the atmosphere. A stronger greenhouse effect is causing Earth's climate to warm. This causes serious changes.